Hi folks, I haven't done a live painting for a few days, so I thought I would do one now. I'm going to do a London, it's kind of like a sunset, but I'm going to paint it in ink and watercolours on, this is really rough, I think it's £300, what is it, £140, but it's a rough, so yeah, it's a really good watercolour paper, but I'm going to paint this ink and watercolour go really well together, and it gives a lot more contrast with the darks. So I'll see how I get on, and yeah, if there's any comments, please fire away, or if there's any questions. Matt's making me a coffee in the background, which is really kind of him, so I do apologise about the coffee noise. Okay, so I'm going to wet the paper. I've just masked the top and the bottom because it's going to be more of a panoramic view of the Thames. So I just want to put the sky in and the water in first, and then I'll dry it and then put the buildings in. Got authentic coffee noise going off in the back. Okay, so just want to put in a really light wash in the centre. This will almost disappear. When the paper dries. And then let's get, so this is ink, so it's obviously going to be a lot darker. I'm mixing the ink with a tint of phthalo blue, which you can't see on the screen. So I'm really avoiding going with the brush into the centre. Quite like the way that is actually. Sometimes it's good just to stop and if it looks okay, walk away, because if you try and work too much on something, it will always mess up. So I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to dry it now, and then put the buildings in. Here's Matt with the coffee. Cheers, everyone. Right, so I'm going to dry this with the hairdryer, and then carry on putting the buildings in. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to remove a little bit of the paint. In a couple of places, just as highlights on the buildings. That's it. Right, I'm going to dry this. The paint here. So this is the phthalo blue, and then this is ink, and that's basically what I'm using. So let's carry on. That's kind of dry. So you wouldn't be able to get these kind of darks with watercolours, not very easily anyway. So that's why I like to use ink. And so I'm just going to carry on now, painting the buildings in. Let's get the hard one out of the way. I'll zoom in for this bit. Got to remember to breathe when you... Okay, let's see how we get on. Right, so I've painted that now, and this light that I was going to put up here was for a building, but I've put it way too... So I'm just going to move everything up a little bit. That's better. Yeah. I don't know what this building's called, but it's the round-shaped one along the south bank. So I'm just leaving little bits as highlights as I go along. and I'm just going to keep the bottom edge of this mark here with paint, just so that I can keep on using it, because what will happen is if that was a dry edge, it wouldn't look quite right. I don't like the hard edges that you get sometimes with watercolours. I just want to improve the shard. That's better. See how this is run? I love that when that happens. Just use it as to your advantage. So I'm just this is the water now I'm painting, so I'm just putting in the reflection, making sure that I carry on. I've not drawn this out, I'm just doing it freehand. I know this area so well that I can paint it. There's nothing here, I'm just putting suggestions of things in. Just want to focus on just getting the horizon line straight here. Boat here, reflection of the boat. Carry on the building, so the horizon is around here, so I'm not too far off that. So my show in New York actually finishes on Thursday. It's gone really, really well. I think it's pretty much a sold out show. I haven't really checked to see how well it's gone, but I should do. And my other show, which is in London, and it starts on Thursday, on the 21st. And the preview, that's the preview night, and I think the show's on for 2 weeks. So if you're in London, come and check it out. So it's a lovely gallery, and actually they've refurbished the gallery in Covent Garden. And I think it looks wicked. So that's the walkie-talkie building there. Shadow, reflection. This is like just a really nice, calming, tonal study. It's such a simple way of painting. It looks really effective. Give it a go. I've got the gherkin, let's put that in. Just see how I've just left just little bits of paper showing through. Just creates an edge. Oh, phone's ringing. So that's how we're getting on. So I can give it another pass now. So this side will be getting dry. So again, I'm just using phthalo blue and ink, and then I'm just gonna make suggestions of windows, etc., shapes of buildings. Few cranes, always looks good. So the closer that I am to the foreground, the darker I've gone, which creates that illusion of distance. Just do the same on the other side. It's a little bit wet still, actually, but let's see how we get on. So these buildings that are behind, I've left because they're further away. Just putting in a few suggestions. When there's a walkway along there, let's put that in. Okay, so that is pretty much it. I'm going to just do a very light wash on the water just to create a bit of surface. That's going to do it. I'm going to try that, and we'll see how we get on. Okay. So I'm just going to remove the paper. It probably will make a mess, but I'm not worried about that. And it looks really cool when you take this off. There we go. So that took about 20 minutes. A really easy, quick tonal study. Hope you've enjoyed that.